Okay, I'm calling the meeting to order. All right, is there any public comment? I don't think we have any public.
Right now, it's just Jackie.
All right. Approval of minutes from the meeting held on May 19th.
I approve.
Do you want to make a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that motion. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Can
you.
We can't hear Jackie. Okay. Minutes are approved. Staff update.
I don't think I talked about this last meeting, but I did, shut me up. But Jeff is going before the select board Thursday night to talk about replacing the heating system at the snack shack.
Yeah, we did.
We did talk, okay. But actually, our recommendation is not to replace the system at all, because we don't think it justifies heating the amount it gets used. And then our boilers are at the end of their life at the Public Works Department. So Jeff's got 3 companies he's gonna walk through, show them to see, let them make recommendations to see if, whether they think it should stick with natural gas or whether they think it could switch to a heat pump or something else. And then based on the results of that, then we'll have the select board make some decisions of what to go there. But, that's pretty much, I think, all we've got energy related right now in the systems.
With that, just energy related, we don't know what the answer is, but we're talking to them about replacement costs and then exploring recovery units. And one of the things that it's all hot water, underground basement, whatever it's called, slab, floor heat.
Okay.
And it's tough in the wintertime because they open up the doors to come in and the recovery times are really hard. So I think that's one of the reasons the furnaces are just constant. So they're gonna look at that at the same time and see if there's any cost savings there.
If I work in the HVAC industry, so if there's anything that I can do to help as part of this.
Yeah, because I do not work in the HVAC
Yeah, even
industry.
like reviewing the quotes or recommendations or whatever, maybe.
Happy to do that.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll keep you posted.
Okay.
And probably should take you for a walk too and show you what we're actually looking at.
Happy to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. I think that's our big update, so.
Okay. All right. Okay, old business. Invasive species and natural areas plan collab with the Conservation Commission. Jackie, have you been in touch with them?
I have, in fact, I've started attending their meetings by Zoom so that I could sort of keep up to date with what's going on. We're all set. They were delighted to hear that I was planning to write the blurb that's going into the crier. So everything has been confirmed, location, time, the speaker. So it's just a matter of doing that ad and getting the word out.
Okay, and then without Nick, I don't think we're gonna have an update on the other educational session. We had been batting around the solar, how to go solar, especially around community solar. So we will table that to next time. So spreading the word, so this is a great segue to crier ad and where we are with our template. I think last time we said that Jackie, you were gonna try and take a stab at filling out the template for the invasive species session.
I am very nervous about my ability to do that. I can write words, all the words that you want, but I'm not really sure how to use that template. So it might work better for me to write those words, and then perhaps Carl, since he made the template, fit the words in. So I will get that to you by the end of this week, okay? And then you'll be able to play with it
Sure.
Okay,
Happy to do that. Yeah.
okay,
Okay.
that's great, thank you.
I think we were aiming to get that in the August 1st crier, is that right?
Oh,
So
not the July one.
not the
Okay.
July one.
Yeah, not the
So-
July one, right,
So I think Jackie, you had put a date of, what was it, July 8th or something to get it to Mark?
right,
That'd be plenty of time.
That's plenty of time. I do have a mock-up of a battery energy storage one that would be pointing people to the recorded webinar. That we can look at, and if we all like it, we could potentially stick it
Sure. That
to
sounds
this
good.
one, if you guys have saved space.
Yep.
I keep pointing at this piece of paper, Jackie, which is the town's section of the crier, and they have a space available if we wanted to try and put something in, but they need it by tomorrow.
oh,
That's what Mark said when we got in the room, so.
yeah,
You can even add maybe 2 sentences to the bottom of what you're doing. Say that coming in August, you know, a little coming soon blurb or something.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Then we get more detail on the August one.
right.
Sure. So.
Do we always have that space?
Every month we buy the ad, and
Yep.
depending on what's going on, you know, we can usually fit about anyone that wants something in. 'Cause we
Okay,
can play with font and spacing, and so
right,
we can usually come up with something every month. So,
I mean, if we could even just put in, you know, tips for saving energy in the heat or whatever.
Yeah.
That there's no end to the things that we could put together.
I'm gonna try and call into the Zoom so I can share what
Okay.
I've put together, because I think that is what's on the next part of the agenda
So
here.
I will allow that, or not that, I wouldn't let you in, but I just gotta change on the computer.
Yeah, it's weird. I thought I saw your email come in on my phone, but I'm not seeing it on my computer.
If you go to the calendar on the website, the link's there too.
Yeah, it's already on, that's how I came in, was with the link on, right on the website, town website.
And I'll probably use yours as the template to make Jackie's.
And you just wanna mute your mic
Mute,
and
yes.
speaker. So now I'll promote you.
Okay, I think the audio's all off.
I don't hear feedback, so I think it is there.
Of course, the menu for Zoom is blocking my ability to look to get to my different tabs.
Oh, that little bar at the top. Yeah. Yeah, that's always
Okay.
infuriating.
Now it's so tiny. Can you all see that okay?
Yeah. Oh, neat.
I mean, it's pretty much the same. And I think for the crier, maybe we even make the background white, because I think that will probably print better.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Transmission.
Cool.
It's 25th.
So.
All right. What do
Wow.
people like about this? What do people not like about this?
I definitely think it has the spirit of just like a few bullet points. Like somebody could just go read it. Scan to watch the video for more information.
I could
So
say
that
our webinar or our recorded,
like community education session. Maybe that's too wordy.
Yeah, I think it's fine just with the scan to watch the video. People are used to scanning things. I think the fewer words, the better, as long as you get the idea across, and that does it. I like the facts.
Why?
Nicely done.
Scale battery.
Have you ever been to the ISO New England website where it shows the current usage?
yeah.
For the first time, I was showing the interns it today. For the first time, it's got a category for battery.
Really?
Like
Oh,
where the
wow.
power comes from, which it was less than 1% at the time we were looking. But it'd be interesting to check,
Yeah.
like especially on a hot day, like at 8 o'clock, even when it's doing the evening
Yeah.
demand. I bet you'd find it's more than 1% at that point.
You'd imagine during the day it's mostly charging.
Right.
You would think.
I'm wondering if we should, instead of, maybe we say like Topsham Energy Committee quick facts.
Yeah,
And
because
that
the whole page at the top.
That could kind of consolidate these two.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably for the purpose of the crier ad, you may not even need the logo again because we've already got the logo like multiple places on the page.
Yeah, because I think you inundate people with like a wall of text, then
Hmm.
they may just. Maybe, what does it look like if you underline, did you know? To like frame the, it may look silly. Control U.
Control U.
Yeah, I like that.
I think you were right though, that probably you want to change the background
Yeah.
to something lighter.
I think I could just reset that. And if we wanted to paste it or post it on Facebook groups or things like that, then you
Put
might
it
want to
back on,
do
yeah.
a nice background, but for the crier, I think.
No, the picture will be in color, or whatever it is.
So if you like that, you can just email it to Pam, pleduc@topsofmaine.com and CC me and she'll have it for tomorrow.
Oh, fantastic.
I think it's a good start. I mean, I like how you laid it out. I think it's a good start.
I
don't know how we like gather people's input. I feel like you just start asking people at the dump, hey, did you see that thing by the energy committee? See that?
Guerrilla marketing, I like it.
Guerrilla marketing.
And like, we can improve upon this as we go, like we'll see it in print and we'll probably think, oh, I don't like that, or next time let's have the image at the top or whatever. And
I don't know anything about QRs other than how they, how you use them, but is there a way to make it so that your QRs all go to the same point and then go out so you could track how many hits you're getting.
Oh,
Maybe. So Carl, this QR code you put goes to the Eric Bana Wikipedia page?
yeah. Well, so
Is that
I
what
thought
it is?
I'm
You
sorry, I
tried?
should have been more clear about that. I'm glad that you tried that because,
I don't think we're gonna be able to track his.
and I don't
page, we're
even,
not gonna
so
know.
I took that, I literally typed in Google QR code and put it in the template as an example.
Okay.
Okay, so we need to replace.
So I'm
this.
denying all responsibility for where, I don't know who that person is.
Okay,
So
we
that
need
should
to
be
generate-
updated,
Yeah.
yeah,
All right.
and
But if that went to like, if that went to an energy committee page,
I think Pam might know how many people click on the link. I
Yeah,
think she can get access stats for our website.
yeah, as long as wherever it goes, it's then very intuitive to the next step,
mm-hmm.
you know? For saying like, here, go to the video.
Mm.
But I like that idea, doing some harvesting of metadata.
So should we talk a little bit about?
We can also look at the views on YouTube as another way to do.
Yeah, if all of a sudden there's an uptick after it
Right.
publishes. Would we
Mm.
want to link directly to the YouTube posting or to this page where people can?
I think if we link to this page, I probably need to do the link to the YouTube. I don't think it's on there yet. Right?
Yeah, I think we may be able to do it in here after we do the reboot of this page.
Yeah.
It's more up to date.
So maybe for the purposes of this,
Go straight to YouTube.
we'll just do
Yeah.
it right to the YouTube.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can take a note maybe of how many views there are as of this session.
Because then they have to click less. Otherwise, if they click here, then they have to click again to go to the
Right.
YouTube.
Okay. All right, well, if everyone is okay with this, except I'll update the QR code.
Yeah. Glad.
I'll try and do that tonight and email Pam.
See you in the morning. Should be happy to know it's there. She'll plug it in.
Okay, and it is August 5th. Should I put a time?
25th.
Oh, sorry, August 25th at 6 p.m.
Mm.
Oh, there's Nick. Can't make it today.
of course, if you left that QR code you have on there now, you'd be sure to know.
Yeah.
People would be calling.
What is
Yeah.
the hell's going on?
Okay, cool. So, Carl, did you have a chance to
Schedule?
work on the schedule or the updates to the webinar page?
Yeah, so I have, I wanted to have a bit of a discussion on the webinars page. If we have some time to do that. So we can either start with that or go to the schedule. I guess that's we're here. So the first thing I did was I looked through this and then I went to our YouTube channel. And there was a few things I noted. Oops, I think I put them on the drive. Outreach, Energy Committee, Community Outreach, Google Sheet, working offline. No,
Is it this one?
I think so. Yes. So I started making some notes on, so, and I went a little bit, a couple of ways just because they felt kind of connected to me. but so first thing, starting with the YouTube channel, there is currently a playlist in there that has some of the existing community sessions and our regular recorded meetings in there. The first thing that I noticed was that the playlist, the last video on the playlist was about a year ago. The webinars on the town website started about 4 years ago. So I think it would be good to have in the YouTube channel, go down through the history of the town, videos, add in the webinar videos to that playlist. So at least in there, that's Lucas.
What's the playlist called?
I think it's just Energy Committee.
Okay, so there's an energy committee playlist.
Yes.
I think I might have created that. We tried, I only get in about once every 6 months or so to add videos to them. I mean, they're on there in the live section, I think, until I link them. But we try to have each committee has a playlist so that if you want to see select board meetings, you could click on that one or click on the energy committee.
Yes.
So,
what also might be nice, and I don't know if this is like an option of the YouTube channel owner or not, but on the homepage of the town, right there, there's like, I think there's like 2 or 3 playlists right up front. So if there's availability or room to do that, putting that energy committee playlist up front might be kind of nice too. But not necessarily
you mean on the YouTube channel or the actual town website?
the YouTube channel.
Oh.
Yeah. So based on looking through the YouTube channel and our website, this is the list of what I guess I'm calling community outreach sessions in what look like to be chronological order. And so on the webpage, this I think is how we should lay that out as far as just like our video headers and things. And then I had a few notes there. So yeah, so on the website, I think there's something about the IRA, but I didn't see a video in YouTube. So that was that note.
This one.
Yes, coming soon. I think it just brings you to a Zoom link.
Maybe it didn't happen.
I can talk to Sky too, because there's 2 ways we get videos onto the website of the YouTube. One is, if I think about it, and usually what I do is we're live broadcasting right now on YouTube. And so then it automatically saves it up there. The other way to do it is we don't live broadcast, we record the meeting, and then you go to our YouTube account, download the meeting onto like the computer here, and then upload it back to, so it's like a couple step process. It could be that Sky has somewhere downloaded the inflation adjustment thing, or so I'll ask her. So because it's not YouTube doesn't mean we don't have it. It may mean we don't have it, but I'll check with that because I may be able to come up with it and put it up there.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if we can't find it, then I guess just remove that section out of the webpage.
So if you wanted to give me text to cut and paste,
Yeah.
I can pretty much cut and paste whatever you want in there.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking my next step would be, was once I felt like it was necessary, just kind of talk through this, make sure I wasn't moving too independently. And then I'm happy to just lay that out. And then maybe this is something I got to talk with Nick about, but the last video was this thing called solar energy options. And I'm just wondering if that needs to be archived, and then the new solar one that's going to come later this year should take it over. The webpage, Energy Committee webpage, has this whole own section on solar itself. So that may, yeah, so on the left-hand side. solar energy Topsham. So I don't know if this is even applicable anymore, and this it's a little bit out of what I'm supposed to be doing, but
The top part definitely still is, because we still get our energy from that plant in Skowhegan that's pictured there.
but I don't know.
They're in the big room. You've been promoted.
Yeah. So those two things maybe
This top
need.
portion seems totally relevant still.
Okay, good. But
Might
all
be
right.
good to check that all these links still work and aren't broken.
Yeah.
Or see if they go to Wikipedia.
Yeah. Yeah, some random Wikipedia page. Yeah, this looks like a Topsham Solar Advocates production.
Yeah, this is great. I didn't know this was here.
Yeah, you've been on there.
Okay, well, I think this could be
Yeah, there's a few more things
just
on that.
double checked to make sure there's no updates needed.
So, okay. So it sounds like I'm on the right track though, from what I'm.
Yeah.
I like your
Gathering.
idea of calling it energy or calling it community outreach.
Yeah. Yeah, I think webinar might give the wrong impression.
Mhm.
And I think we want to try to encourage in-person attendance, if possible, of course. And maybe, there's not just videos on here at some point, maybe community outreach includes like all of like the ticker of all of the quick facts, carousel or other thing, that
Well,
come
I
up.
know we have Kurt's PowerPoint presentation from the best one, so that would be something to potentially link on here for people to download.
So,
Okay, so Carl, you want to try and
yeah,
like just make a document that updates what should be on this page?
yes, yeah, I will do that. I don't know if I'll write like entire paragraphs for each, like in the page right now. I could just copy paste what's there. But if we want to continue to have like header link or header with link and then like an entire paragraph worth of description, I wouldn't propose changing what's there already, but for the battery storage system, I'll write a whole paragraph, but maybe I can have ChatGPT watch the video and provide me a summary description to put in there. That might work. All right, so that's what I'll do. I'll just go ahead and come up with a proposed page, and then I'll also include some of those other bullet points for the YouTube channel, just as like a reminder. And I'll submit it for everybody to take a look at.
Okay, right.
Okay, and then schedule.
Yeah. So I have a schedule on the drive. I should have put it in the community out in the outreach, but it's in the main folder. Communication schedule. So So this is we can change. So let me think about this. So at baseline, what I sort of thought about was one a month seemed a little skinny. So I said, okay, well, what if we did 2 a month?
Mhm.
We'll put 1 in the crier and 1 online.
Mhm.
Now, from what I understood, how I kind of work this through is kind of backwards from the date of publication in the crier.
Mm.
So for the 8/1 publication, we need to submit it. The committee needs to submit it to the town by 7/13, so approximately
Yep.
2 to 3 weeks prior
Yep.
to the publication.
Yep.
What I also thought we may want to do, but we don't necessarily have to, is do we want to have just a quick review in the energy committee session together and say, yeah, we're good, or what if we change this or that? So I kind of backed it into that, which led in this particular start led to 6/16 having 2 together for the 8/1 publication.
Mhm.
But it sounds like how it's going to work out is potentially we'll have Stephanie yours done today, and we'll submit it tomorrow, and it'll get into the 7/1 publication for BES with a heads up. We're going to have an invasive plants presentation coming up.
Yeah.
Soon with another quick facts on top of it. So that was kind of the basis of how I put it together, just as a start. And then there was like a little gap, it seemed like, in August between that and when we might have Nick's solar presentation. So I slotted in another thing for energy storage in there.
Mhm.
But obviously any and all of this can be reworked and we can do different topics.
Sure.
And then on, it just says like, okay, what's the general topic? What's the subtopic? We want to have it. Where is it getting published?
Published.
Published. I was like, that doesn't sound right. Where's it getting published? And then who's doing that particular one? So, so we can rejigger this however we need to, but that's kind of how I at least thought through it initially.
I like it. I like the format.
Yep.
So, I don't know. I think, do we care about having these like presented at the meetings, or we can also just kind of send them out an email to each other? And so what do you think? And because then I think that kind of frees up things a little bit more. If we don't restrict it to having it completed initially, at least
Mm.
for the committee meetings.
I think I talked a little bit at one point to you guys about what we can do through email and whatnot.
Right.
I think something like this would be fine. It'd be a different thing if we were negotiating the battery storage ordinance to the email, because that's would
Yeah.
have significant impact on people.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's, here's some tips on invasive plants I'd like to have, how these look, I don't see any issue with that.
Okay.
Great.
Great. So that kind of frees things up then. I think we can get rid of that. Mark, I mean, you can, what I thought might be nice too, but maybe it doesn't matter too much, is, by submitting them to the town on the same day, that lets, is it Rose? Pam, sorry. Pam to do the submission to the crier and on Facebook or wherever at the same time, the same
Mm.
day, so I thought maybe that might be nice, maybe it's not a big deal at all.
Used to be the crier, we had to get to them by like, say, the 27th of the month, and they got printed in people's mailbox by the 1st. For some reason, Pam was saying that for the July crier, he's required it by the 24th, and then she's leaving town for a few days, so that's why she needs it tomorrow, so she can get it all
Oh,
put
okay.
together.
Okay.
But so in general, if you're using 13th, 14th, 15th, that should be plenty of time for us to give it to her.
Okay,
And so the paper won't actually be out. Sometimes it's a few days before the month starts, so it might actually be like June 28th or something in some
Okay.
people's boxes.
but, and that also kind of kept us on a fairly decent 2-week regimen-ish of like online crier, like, you know, just kind of.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
I'm thinking for the invasive species, the poster,
Oh,
maybe that would be, I think posters might be worth reviewing in a meeting, just because there's more to it. And
okay,
we can try online, but on email, but maybe, and like, we're obviously not gonna review the poster today, so I think the poster part of this should be moved out
yeah,
to next meeting.
that's fine. And, you know, we don't necessarily have to do a poster, whatever. And my initial thought with poster, it was just like, we would just print out what, you know, we would put in the crier, we could do a bigger poster with a bunch more stuff for sure, but at the minimum, you know, just print out the quick facts and just start splattering the town with them.
And then the other piece of feedback, I think that could be useful for us is if like maybe some of these would have a subtopic of, you know, upcoming session that we want people to know about so that they'll attend it. So maybe we would have scheduled session as a subtopic, and then it might be helpful to have the date of the session in this page so that we kind of have a sense of, okay, if the invasive species thing is August 25th, when do we need to make sure we have all of the things out there
Okay.
published? That's the only other piece of feedback I have, but I think this is really very helpful.
Okay. All right, so let me. I think what I heard is like remove, review, date, column. And then,
Well,
so
I
is that a
think
separate
that
column that
if we wanna
says-
if we wanna keep reviewing posters, maybe we would keep that column, but just have the posters
Okay.
reviewed at the meetings.
Sure. The review date column for posters. And then like add another column that talks to like presentation date.
Mhm.
Yeah, for communications that are about those things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, we could go as far as to like type a 1-page about what our communication strategy is, but I figured we need to do that.
Yeah, and maybe we can also come up with a poster template.
Oh, that would be,
We can use the last poster, the battery poster, as a example to start with.
Okay.
Love it, streamlining, making it easy for ourselves.
and it also
Oh, good.
is more noticeable to people, they'll know it's the Energy Committee. They'll get used to the idea,
Yeah,
oh,
if it's
this
the
must
same
be an
format.
Energy Committee thing. Good marketing.
Those are those wonderful people in our town.
Thanks, Charles.
Right.
Yeah, good. I'm glad everybody.
Okay, and Jackie, you have access to this Google sheet, right?
Sort of, yes.
You figured out how to
I'm
get.
not a Google user and as a general thing, so I'm really grateful when you attach like you did with the agenda to include it. That's my concern about using the templates. Sometimes I can download the documents, but sometimes I can't. So I'm really not familiar with the Google
We need
stuff.
to have a training session.
Can I be
Google working
completely
session.
honest and say I have no desire to use any Google product? I don't use Google as my search engine either. So,
That's right. I use DuckDuckGo. I'm
yep,
with
me
you.
too. Me too.
Nice.
All right, the communication schedule will become our source of truth, and maybe Carl and I can kind of work together to keep it updated, and we can communicate with you, Jackie and Nick, if you'll
Okay.
need some reminders.
You can always
Yep.
PDF a 2-month lookout or 3-month lookout.
Sure. Thank you.
All righty, are we ready for the next agenda item?
We are.
So
Okay, battery ordinance update. So everyone probably saw via email the engagement letter that we got from the Energy Law Clinic. And I think, Mark, that got onto the agenda for the select board meeting this Thursday.
Great.
6:30.
Do you need any of us to be there? Would it be helpful for us to be there?
Probably would be good if someone wanted to address it, or I don't know if you want to do Stephanie or something.
Yeah, what would be most helpful, you think? Just like introducing it?
Yeah, exactly. It may be relatively late in the agenda, just because that's, most of it was written by the time we got it. So if you didn't want to actually come that night, what we could do is you could do it by Zoom, if that was easier, or you can come that night if you want. My guess is probably be half hour to somewhere between half an hour, 45 minutes into the meeting, probably before it comes up.
Okay, I'll see if I can make that.
I definitely, fortunately, won't be able to make it.
Or we'll nominate Nick, because Nick isn't here right now.
Yes.
So we'll sign Nick up for this.
Yes. Those who
No,
aren't here.
I'm happy
get
to
nominated.
introduce it. It was my alma mater, so, okay.
And was you the one talking to them most too? Probably
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah. And then the feedback that I've gotten from Kurt was that they can start reviewing our draft ordinance. I just exported literally what we've been working on together, with all of our comments, and we had noted, ask Kurt about this and ask Kurt about this. So I'd sent that over to him. And he said that they were working on actually like a Penobscot, hydro something or other that had them pretty busy last week and this week, but then they thought they would be able to start reviewing it after that.
Oh, good.
Because I think we were all feeling like in our sessions we had more questions than answers. And so just having them kind of help out with that, and I teed up our questions as well in an email to him, around NFPA 855 and, what needs to be in the ordinance versus what's sort of like covered there, and also around the state of Maine's domain, because I think that they have specific rules around like decommissioning. So just helping us understand where does our ordinance fit within the broader structure of regulation that these projects are subject to.
I think it isn't necessarily a bad thing even if the state has rules on decommissioning, and even if we like theirs, to have our own, just in
Yeah.
case
The
the state
state
were to change
changes,
theirs,
yeah.
since we have the most at stake if all of a sudden we get left with.
Yeah,
We're holding the bag for sure.
yeah.
Did it sound like, I thought I saw this, that he was also gonna help with the tax piece of it?
Yeah, they can help us with the community benefit agreement, but so I was looking back at his presentation for the quick facts, and there was something in here about interconnection studies
Mhm.
taking like 5 years.
And I think they're already starting on this one, or at least the application's been in, because when Andy Bissett came by to drop me a little map of what it would look like 6 weeks ago, at the bottom of it talked about ISO New England interconnection, something. It looked like it was an exhibit to something.
Oh, okay.
So I think they probably already filed for it.
Okay. So anyway, just like, and I was sort of asking about the timeline to Kurt, and the engagement is just very open-ended. It's basically like until either party decides to terminate for any reason, but just this connects back to the community benefit agreement tax revenue kind of question, because I don't know at what point in the process, like once Mission Clean Energy gets to a certain point, would they want to have that, start having that conversation with us, or at what point we should be prepared to have the conversation with them or start asking for what we want. I'm sure Kurt and them can advise on some of that.
I know from a discussion with our town attorney, they have to offer it.
They
So,
have to offer.
yeah, we can't go in and solicit one.
Okay.
So, doesn't mean, certainly we can have discussions back and forth, but I guess we have to be careful. It doesn't appear that we're strong arming it out of them or something.
Yeah. So in regards to how we work with the energy clinic moving forward, I assume we'll have a little bit of email back and forth once they start looking at our draft, and so before our next meeting on the 21st, we might have some information back from them or some edits back from them. But do we feel like it would be worthwhile to maybe invite them to come to our next meeting so that we can kind of have a live discussion of what they?
I think that's a great idea.
Okay.
Yeah. I haven't even met Kurt yet, so it'd be kind of nice to also do that personally.
Okay, I can put that out there that we think that would be helpful. Anything else that you all want us to communicate to them?
I think most of it you said, but we're interested to know how we plug in the fire code connections to make sure we get that right. And then are there things they see from other parts of the country that they think would be good to have that we don't have, or that maybe either Maine doesn't have in its current model, or maybe aren't in the fire code or something or other.
So you brought a good point up, redundancy with, if there are these model ordinances around, if we were to, if certain parts of them weren't important enough for us to add into our ordinance anyway, the stuff that's more likely to change as things progress. If it's important to Topsham, I think it should be in the Topsham ordinance, written in by itself.
Right. I think where developers might complain is if they've got completely different standards for every municipality or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll probably complain if we're taking a national standard that's really important to Topsham. Maybe it's in the state one already, or it's in the NFPA one already, but we're just doing it again to make sure that it doesn't change without us consenting to it. I don't think that probably would be his problem. So.
Yeah, I think it's just, don't know what we don't know.
Yep.
We would like this to go through, but you don't want to hold the bag for.
So thinking of how we would make this into reality, the recode process has restarted. Because I think I talked about before how things had kind of gotten off the rails and they were trying to decide if everyone was going to get working again. They restarted at the last planning board meeting, and I think it's going to get going again, but it is nowhere. I don't see anything. It's going to be ready for like a vote in November or something. So if this were to go with the help of Vermont Law School, if this were to go much faster, if we had things ready by August, which maybe is too fast, we could potentially get something on the ballot for November. We have to have the ballot set by early September, so we'd have to have this at a select board meeting in August, and maybe even that's aggressive, you know. And it's, if we don't get on the November ballot, that's fine. We just have a special town meeting if we need to vote on this. Or originally, I was thinking if recode moved fast enough, but recode's moving slower than this is going to. We could tack it into that in the new code, but the company I think I mentioned called like a month ago to check on things, and maybe it's because they're just anxious to get the permit out there. But for whatever reason, they certainly are still interested and want to get things moving. So we may decide this is ready before recode, and maybe this would be a special town meeting just for this or something. So.
Seems to me like a good goal and something, well, doesn't sound like Vermont Law School will be able to work on it until July starting. Probably. So I don't know. 2 or 3 weeks is going to be sufficient for them to.
And then even let's say we like what we've got with the state thing, and we still got to plug in definitions and things into our zoning code and the districts, and so there's still some integration that probably isn't all going to get done by mid-August, which we would have to get it on the November ballot. So, but if we get something, say by October, that we're happy with or integrated, we can just have a special town meeting at sometime in January or something.
Okay. All right.
Keep pushing. Keep this thing done.
Yeah, and I'll just like, now that we have kind of a thread going with them, with all of us on it, I'll just reply also. Everyone's in the loop. Okay, do we want to dig in on the ordinance at all today? Add any additional questions or comments? That was the only other old business. And then I didn't have any new business, but if anyone else has new business, we can talk about that.
And we have no other public members for that second.
I do have a question that would go under new business.
I'm just thinking that if we can get the Vermont Law School folks to come to the the July 21st meeting and have that be a really good working session where we can get all of our answers, and hopefully there would be something for us to review in advance so that that meeting can be productive.
And maybe just do that, you know, just about for the whole meeting or something.
Yeah.
I think I would definitely be tempted between now and the next meeting to run through this all through again myself.
I think
for sure. Just sort of.
Maybe maybe this isn't so much a legal question for them, but maybe it's a resource question. Is how do we make people feel comfortable with the risk, or the risk of being managed, or the science behind the NFPA code is such that they can, the people in your neighborhood can feel like, hey, the town isn't trying to push me out of my house or something or other.
Yeah.
So maybe they know some studies that show that what some of the standards are based on and why these are reasonable, or something like that, or maybe that if it does burn, the smoke is not a lot different than what when Grimmel's burns or something.
I think sheer numbers too. I think there's a lot more of these active sites than what people at Topsom might expect. It might be helpful to hear how many of them are actually operating without problems.
Yeah, so do we need to have another public meeting or session or something ahead of the vote, right?
Oh, yeah, there'll be a few, because let's say once we're happy with what we have for a code, the planning board still has to have it, and nothing says you can't have extra hearings. So we could even have a public comment thing as we're drafting, it probably would be a bad idea. And then planning board will have one, I'm sure, as they make comment, make recommendations on it, so be at least two. That would probably be a good idea.
I think some of your questions too are in, I feel like I've read some of that stuff and some of the resources you had, Stephanie. You know, like energy storage, and there's a bunch of studies, and there was one that talked about the evolution of NFPA, essentially based on like terrible things that have happened previously with battery storage systems. Like, for example, not opening the doors when they're lighting off and that kind of thing. So it'd be worth asking them for sure, but we may also be able to go through, like, because I think ultimately what you're saying is like, how do we frame this when we present it to planning board or whomever? How do we get ahead of what we anticipate the questions to be and frame the ordinance with those?
And I think we're gonna need a trusted resource that people feel like, you know, because we could read the study and we could say, this is what the study says, but probably people are like, yeah, that's nice. But
They want
let's say there's a Bowdoin professor or something that's got, you know, done research in the area, or that can maybe make people feel more comfortable with things or something.
Okay. Yes.
Because I really, that's the only thing that probably would bother people about this, is just the fear of, will it catch fire, and if so, what happens?
Especially now, if you've been watching the news in the last couple of months, it seems like all of these factories in industrial settings are having these big incidents, and everybody's on the news saying, how is that possible? How is that possible?
Yeah.
It's been highlighted a lot in the last few weeks.
This is off topic, but I have in my job talking with a dust collection group who got hired to go and put in systems in the place that is it Seaport down east, that Searsport that blew up recently.
Oh,
and he's getting tons of calls from other places so it was related to that only because for that particular instance, it's dust pollution related. And that, like, sawdust is extremely flammable in large quantities.
So for community engagement purposes and yeah, anticipating that safety is probably gonna be the biggest thing that people are concerned about, does that look like preparing a PowerPoint presentation with some information? Does it look like a handout that we would print or post? Or like, what are you thinking in terms of being prepared?
probably at a minimum, I'd say. But if there was a speaker, that someone that had expertise on it, that was perceived as neutral, as opposed to, like, I think the guy that was from that presented at the meeting last.
Retired New York.
Who now
Fire
works for
department.
the company, I don't think he necessarily was perceived as neutral.
Right.
So,
Do we need the Topsom fire chief to come in and say, I approve of this ordinance?
No, not necessarily that.
No.
And the Topsom fire chief isn't gonna have the expertise either, but
Okay.
actually NFPA is headquartered in Massachusetts, right?
Yeah, NFPA, or you do have, you might be able to sometimes the fire marshal's office has
That's a good
outreach
idea.
people.
Yeah,
So they might have either, or you know who might be helpful too is, sometimes the ATF gets ahead of this stuff. And so they might either do it or have educational people that they can come out and give you a neutral stance.
What is it?
Well, I don't know
they're
about,
called Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms.
I don't know about neutral, they'll probably be more pro-safety, but that might be what you need, is somebody that, you know, is that caliber that says, you know, these aren't that bad.
No, more safety's fine. I just meant if someone can get dismissed as if, oh, they're in the industry's back
Right,
pocket or
right.
something.
And the ATF might not be, but I don't know who, maybe that's, you know, you just, give me a thought, maybe that's who you look to is, some of the people that have investigated some of these large scale incidents.
Yeah.
I mean, that's who's gonna know.
What caused them and what lessons were learned.
Yeah. So maybe ATF, maybe NIOSH has done a couple, I don't know.
Yeah. Sure.
Maybe, yeah. I don't really know who would. It's enough to find out, I guess.
I can do some research.
I know at least in the marine industry, there's people or industrial incidences, there's whole businesses around investigating industrial accidents and what do they call it?
OSHA.
Company, I'm not thinking about it. Anyways, let's move on.
Okay, anything else old business wise? Okay, new business, Jackie, what do you got?
I sent a message to, I think, all of you, and one in particular, hoping that Mark would answer it. It had to do with, again, thinking about educational sessions. I was just looking for the message I sent because I can't remember exactly what I was proposing, but it had to do with NRCM. And I believe CMP. And I wondered if this was a topic that we would be able to do an education system on, or if, because NRCM definitely has a point of view, that perhaps that's not something the town could do.
What's the point of view?
I'm sorry?
What's the point of view?
They are, now that's where I'm wishing, my
This to
brain.
do with the rate case or?
I can't remember if it has to do with the right case, but yeah, I think it was, yes, because they did a really good presentation that I watched. No, I'm sorry, I can't remember and I can't find it. I've just been looking for it, so.
I have your email here, Jackie.
Oh, good.
Says, yesterday, I participated in a Zoom session with staff at NRCM regarding CMP's latest rate proposal.
Right, yes, it was that. Okay. So they presented a lot of really good information that I thought was worth passing on, but as I say, I question whether, because NRCM is pushing hard against that rate proposal, whether that makes it not appropriate for us to do as as an energy committee.
If you don't, who is NRCM? I don't know them.
Okay, it's the Natural Resources Council of Maine. It's a not-for-profit that does a tremendous amount of work, especially with they work on conservation, on energy, a whole variety of environmental issues, and do a lot of lobbying at the State House.
I guess this is just my opinion. Ultimately, use the committee could do what you want, but I'd almost try to stay out of being political which
Yeah.
this ends up being, you know, for one side or the other, so.
Yes, yeah, that's kind of what I thought. It makes a whole lot of sense to me, but yeah, it could definitely be seen as being partisan, and that would not be a good thing. I'll find other ways to pass it around. But thank you. And that's all I had.
All right. No additional public joined.
Nope.
Our next meeting is July 21st. Prior ad for invasive species. We talked about, so
Yep.
Jackie, you'll send a draft around by the end of this week.
Yes.
Awesome. All right, I move to adjourn. Is there a second?
Absolutely.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned at 5:00.